Well, in what now seems to be fresh, planned and coordinated attacks against the M23 positions in eastern DRC, the group has yet again sustained heavy attacks from the FARDC coalition, this time in South Kivu at Kavumu. Well, that is part of the story that I'm going to tell you in this video. What happened just hours ago when the M23 sustained these heavy attacks at Kavumu, and what is the situation at Kavumu right now, as well as what is new. It seems as if there is something new that the FARDC coalition has injected into their group, that right now we are seeing these attacks coming left, right and center, even close to the headquarters, Goma, where the M23 is based. So what is this new strategy that the Congolese government has employed that is sending jitters to the M23 coalition in eastern DRC? Well, this is bona fide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on the DRC crisis, you get notified as soon as possible. Well, just yesterday we were talking about the coordinated attack by the SAMI DRC, the FARDC, the FDLR and the Wazalendo against the M23 positions near Goma. Well, this time round we are talking about the coordinated attack that just happened hours ago against the M23 in South Kivu at Kavumu. The Wazalendo forces went in Kavumu and attacked the M23 positions and tried also to retake the airport of Kavumu. And after heavy fighting between the M23 and the Wazalendo militia in that particular place, the M23 managed to get reinforcements from Bukavu, who went straight to Kavumu and assisted the M23 forces that were there to repel the Wazalendo troops that had gone to fight the M23 to try to retake the town of Kavumu. This is coming just hours after that coordinated attack by the SAMI DRC, the FARDC, the FDLR in North Kivu around Goma to try to retake the city of Goma. It seems as if there is a planned and coordinated attack by the FARDC coalition to fight the M23. Well, at the moment, the city of Kavumu and the airport are currently under the control of the M23 following the withdrawal of the Wazalendo. It is also important to note that at the moment a precarious calm is observed in the area and a military presence has been reinforced. The Wazalendo that withdrew headed towards Kahuzi-Biega National Park, promising to return stronger and more determined. So what is new in these fresh attacks? Why are we seeing the coalition led by FARDC becoming stronger and stronger against the M23? Because they are sustaining heavy attacks in the places where they never thought that they could be attacked. These are fronts where the M23 had solid background, they had solid foothold in these towns and villages. For example, Goma is the place where they started to occupy. Then they went forward to take over Bukavu, they went northwards and what have you. So why are we seeing as if there is some strength coming from the opposition? This is because of different factors. One is because of the sanctions that have been applied by the international community against Kigali. Very many countries, more so the Western countries, have come out to impose sanctions against Rwanda officials. They have come out to impose sanctions against M23 officials. While this is not directly affecting the military continuation of the M23, it is sending a message on these leaders in Kigali and Eastern DRC. The international pressure that was applied to Rwanda years ago when the M23 first took Goma is the same kind of pressure that is being applied to Rwanda right now. The US, the UK, the EU and other international community players have imposed serious sanctions on Rwanda, Belgium included, and it is causing some serious strains on Rwanda. I'm sure the government of Rwanda will not want more sanctions against officials or the state of Rwanda, even though the president will come out to say that they should go to hell. These are serious impediments that can affect the economy of Rwanda. It can affect the public opinion of the government of Rwanda, and that is something that the Rwanda government will be very, very cautious about. The diplomatic spat between Rwanda and Belgium also negatively affected the forward movements of the M23 in Eastern DRC, because this diplomatic conflict led Belgium to put their effort to assist the FARDC in fighting the insurgencies in Eastern DRC. And we saw the Belgians coming in with troops to assist the FARDC, and in turn now they are also assisting the Wazalendo and the militia therein to fight the M23 in Eastern DRC, making them more stronger than they were before. And the other aspect that is very important was time. The talk of negotiations between the M23 and the FARDC gave the coalition time for them to re-strategize, for them to have a look at their weaknesses, for them to make amends of what was going wrong in Eastern DRC in the fight against the M23. And they had ample time to reconsider the strategies that they were using in fighting the M23. While they were saying that we need some sort of a peace deal for you to come to the table, they were having some ample time to go back to the drawing board to see what was working and what was not working. And it seemed as if even the SAMI DRC used this tactic to draw the M23 closer, to ask them to come to the table, to negotiate and talk about them leaving the DRC, them rehabilitating the international airport in Goma. It seemed as if they were buying time for them to know what they should do next. And as you can see, even the SAMI DRC went against their word that they are not going to engage in fighting in Eastern DRC, to now actively assisting the FARDC to fight the M23 in Eastern DRC. The Congolese government also learned from its mistakes that it was not taking good care of its soldiers. That is why most of them did not have that courage, they did not have that motivation to go to the front line to fight the M23. We saw that when the M23 were advancing southwards close to Uvira, the FARDC literally say that we are not going to fight, and they left the Wazalendos there to fight the battle. The Congolese government went back to the drawing board and saw that their forces were not motivated enough. They increased the salaries of their forces, and right now we can see some of them coming out boldly to fight the M23. It should be noted that the lack of enough motivation, for example salaries in Eastern DRC, is a critical factor, because when the M23 took over parts of Eastern DRC, we could see that easily some members of the FARDC will switch sides to fight for the M23. We could see that easily some members of the police working for the Congolese government switch side to work for the M23. And many opined that these people were simply going to fight because of the economic struggle that is ongoing in Congo, that they wanted something in their pocket, and that is why they switch side to fight for the enemy. And that is now the tactic that the Congolese government is using. The salaries of these soldiers have been greatly improved, and many are now turning up to sign up to fight for the FARDC against the M23 in Eastern DRC. And while the situation remains tense in Eastern DRC, the M23 have said now they are going to continue with their onslaught against the coalition of the government. They're going to retake more territories. They even say that they're going to eye on Uvira, they're going to eye on Kisangani, they're going to eye on Walikale again to retake these territories for them to make a point. The bottom line, the people who are suffering are the Congolese people. These scenes that are coming from Eastern DRC are truly sad, that people are losing their lives because of this war. People are losing their lives because of leaders who are not agreeing to go to a table, sit down and agree on issues for them to move forward. It is a very sad situation that, because some of these photos I cannot post here on YouTube, there are very many sad photos that are coming from DRC that are heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. Here at Bonafide, I advocate for the end of hostilities between these two sides, for the people of Eastern DRC to continue to live their lives normally, for the children of Eastern DRC to grow up normally, for them to go to school, to play with children regardless whether they are Tutsi or whether they are speaking what language, Swahili or not. They should be able to grow up in harmony, knowing that they have a country, that they have a government, that their government is listening to them, that they are citizens of one great country, the DRC, the sleeping lion of Africa, that is well endowed and can be a powerhouse in Africa. We hope for a speedy intervention in the Eastern DRC crisis, for a lasting peace to be found once and for all. This is Bonafide.